So, mind you, I also had a problem because I always was getting pulled over because I didn't have my seatbelt on, and I would always forget to pay my ticket until it got suspended. So I kept getting those back to back to the point where the last time I got pulled over, for not have the last ticket that I got for not wearing a seatbelt, they ended up suspending my license for 7 years. But I mean, eventually it got thrown out. But I ended up couldn't really drive like that, so I always had that was another reason why I really went overnight, because I would take the back roads. Because mind you, at the group home, they was the one who's really showing me around Tampa, because we would take the girls as a participants out on outings. So we would drive for hours all through and out Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. We were just always like, and I don't do that. So it was just like really nice to see like the other sides of Tampa. So that was another thing, like I couldn't. Oh, Jesus. You could tell how immature like I really was, because I didn't know how to be an adult. Like everything was just like, I just couldn't get it right. I just couldn't get it right. So my sister's friend, yeah, I said that already, they ended up leaving. And at this time, Gilan and something happened at Khadija's and Gilan's apartment. I don't know what happened, but the lights completely went off. It was like a storm or something, but when it came back, their lights never turned back on. So when they go in to try to figure out why their lights is not on, once they moved in, they never switched the light to their name. It's always been still under the apartment complex name. So I guess when it turned on and turned back on, they noticed that somebody was in the unit. It was still under the apartment's name, so they shut their lights off. So they had to pay a deposit, and I think the months that they were there the whole time and never paid light, they needed to pay back all that money. So the first thing, Gilan was telling me all that, she was like, can she stay with me? Because really she's tired of Khadija anyways, and she's not trying to go stay with her mom. And I was like, yeah, sure. Y'all know, my son don't use his room. Like, and like I said, like that room was, if anybody needed a place to stay, they could have came. Just be clean and pay what you need to pay, and that be good, right? So she ends up coming to stay with me. Khadija goes to wherever she goes to. We didn't know where she went to. We thought she went back with her parents, but she didn't. So now Gilan is staying with me. And at first, we was having so much fun. I was catching up on all the gossip that was going on in her family and other people's situations. We was cooking, we was baking, we was having movie night, because that's when my best friend would come over too. Like, we still, like, they still was like cordial with each other. And plus, when I was there, like, I was like the making sure they both was good. So the first couple of months was good, but I started to notice, like, she wasn't really trying to pay like bills like that. And I used to be like, okay, but you had your own place and you were paying them. Like, really, like, at this time, like I said, my landlords ended up dropping my rent to $550. And then around that time, yeah, my light bill was high because, like I said, we grew up with no AC. So my AC back then used to stay on 60, 69 or 70 faithfully. And that's why I was like, if I would have took a class, or WIC would have provided financial literacy back then when they was forcing people to take classes and stuff like that, I would have definitely sacrificed to go to 72, 73 or 74, because yeah, that was one thing like I wasn't letting up. But that was because even with my light bill being so high, like I still wouldn't let up on my on my AC. So I started to see she wasn't trying to pay bills like that. I'm like, your half is only $250 and then $100. So that's $350. That's all you coming for. And mind you, the transmission on my little hoopty, because my hoopty was going for a minute. My little hoopty, that green baby was going for a minute. So I ended up having, because the transmission went on, and so I had to put down on another car to get around, because Gillian didn't have a car, and I don't think she was really driving back then either. And because she ended up getting like a Toyota 4Runner, like I think the next following year or something like that. But she wasn't driving, and I needed a car. So I ended up putting down on another car before my license ended up getting like suspended. So I had a car payment and I had insurance to pay. So I'm like, and then you work at the hospital overnight, and they do the shift differential. That's very hard for me to say. So, I knew they was doing that. So I knew she was making way more than me. And then you work 40. So I knew you was getting more money than me. So I'm like, where's all her money going? But mind you, she was still talking to the boy at her job. And that's when we were finding out, like, she was giving him money, like money. And he did the same thing she did, worked the same job she did. So I couldn't understand, why was you giving this man all your paycheck? And then to come to find out, he had a whole girlfriend the whole time he was messing with Gillian. So it comes a night when they actually pull me over for the last time. I can't drive. So Gillian has to pick me up and drop me off at work. So